folks, it is me, Gigalem, and welcome back to Kirby's Dreamland 2. We're actually approaching the end game. We're on the final world, and of course, we got a lot of levels to go through, a grand total of 7, and we already cleared 1. And boy, I have a lot of issues with this particular world, and we'll get to them as we get to certain parts of the game itself, and boy did I... Never mind. Well, so much for using the burning ability. Talk about being armed to the nines. No, it's armed to the teeth. Yeah. Oof. In fact, we're not going to get to the rainbow drop for a good while. I'm not kidding. Good thing we have this ability room. That's not an ability. I picked the wrong ability. I didn't know they could do that. I thought they would have just fallen straight off straight into the spikes. But yeah, I'll tell you this particular game looks much better with the Super Game Boy. Or heck, you can just play the DX ROM hack. Again, I recommend you find that. Now, yeah. I don't know how you're supposed to get that 1-up right there. And despite there being sword enemies, there is no sword ability in this game. Not even close. And, well, at the very least we can show this. Really, it's just as simple as just going into that bottom path. I don't know if this is true, but it seems that you basically get a health refill by the moment you actually take an animal buddy. Might as well make use of this ability while I can. It's a great way to run. So yeah, now we face off with Mr. Green. And, well, I was gonna say the height advantage is really good. So we gotta be careful when it jumps, because if it jumps, we actually get hit. Like, never mind. Ugh. I mean, I guess we found a good power combo towards certain mini-bosses. Because we actually have the height to actually... to basically stop them. Well, the more you know. There we go. Barely. So, yeah. Now to World 3. Now, 7-2 is the second to last stage to find any animal buddy. We're about to approach on the last one relatively soon, so fortunately, the last rainbow drop is something we're not going to be worrying about yet until much later. Because it's literally on the very last level, and I don't like early Kirby games punishing you for having abilities. I get wanting to make sure players are careful with their abilities, but modern games made sure that players are rewarded for using them. Could I be projecting a bit much? And I'm about to lose Rick soon, so... I forget the names of these springing enemies. Give me a second. They're literally named Bouncy. I just... Oh no. Oh. It's an auto-scroller. It had to be one. The problem is, I think these are the ones with actual dead ends. Like, we're actually approaching the ones where if you choose the wrong path, you are forced to lose a life. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm correct. Ugh. Like, I hate the auto-scroller levels in this, in this game. Simply because I just don't think they're very well designed. Their speed... Like, you have the water, and then you have to deal with, and then you have to deal with, being sure to, keep up with the, just to keep up with the speed of the room. And if you don't keep up, you're going to die. And if you try to even get your ability back, well, the game will punish you for that. There we go. And we're only like 2 levels in, so I have a good feeling we might be able to clear this. And you want to be quick on your feet. We are dealing with crumbling platforms. So, I guess it's fitting for the last stage to have such perilous platforming. It's filled to the teeth with enemies, like left and right. Like, the water sections are filled, and, what? I tried to combine fill and feel. That's why why it sounded so weird. Filled. Ugh. Oh no, another one of these. And it gets worse. Again. Act preemptively if you could. Because the speed of these corridors. And again, it gets worse. Now I have to deal with Wayu. Boy. If only the puffs did damage against bosses. I mean, I guess this is the only Kirby ability that actually has a good DPS against bosses. Because most of them just only do 1 damage. So yeah. There we go. Now to the 5th stage. I guess upon replaying this, it makes sense that the last world has a boss, like a mini boss at the end of every stage, because you're literally dealing with his forces. And many would note that we haven't really met any other familiar faces outside of Wispy Woods and Mr. Shiny, Mr. Bright, and Mr. Shiny, Mr. Bright, and Kracko. So certainly, a familiar foe is bound to appear somewhere within these harrowing dark halls, even though they don't look dark or purple. Like, oof. How am I supposed to get back in there? Ugh, I didn't even get to show off. Okay, that's the ice ability of Ku. I completely forgot about it. But since this is stage 5, this is the very last stage to have an animal buddy spawn in it. And it's random chance. So, you know what? Oh! Yes! This is Goo Girl. In the Japanese version, instead of Goo Girl, it's a... okay, it's not Goo Girl. It's actually Girl Blob. I keep calling her Goo Girl for some reason. In the Japanese version, instead of this character, it's a character by the name of Chow from a Famicom Disk System game, Yuyuki. She even appears in the excellent screen and the sound test, and the sound test is even a reference to that game. That character even appears with another character, and yes, that character's name is Goku. They also appear in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a spirit, which is pretty much a deep cut if I ever seen one, so I am so glad that's actually happened. So yeah. And this is me not looking where I was going because I was busy closing pages in Kirby. The things you need to do when making sure you sound smart. Now we have to deal with Blocky. Ugh. Ugh. Blocky is rather fast for a stone-based enemy. Oy. And there goes. Yep. I'm like, you know what? Why continue to use the ice ability? Ice ability doesn't seem to work so easily with Ku. I have to show it off in another video at some point, so give me a moment. There we go. We're not that far into the recording. We are only 14 minutes in, so I do think this will likely be the finale of this project, and I'm probably going to need some time to get the bonus footage done for this. It shouldn't be that much I need to cover in terms of bonus footage, so I'm glad I can knock out the one character that's required for 100% because it does count. So yeah. Ugh. Talk about a windy stage. There we go. Unfortunately, we have to deal with this. It's another auto-scroller, and there's dead ends. Ugh, good thing we have some extra range with this thing. Be right back. If you don't memorize the map of this location, you will run in its trial and error. Dang it. Never mind. You have to get so uncomfortably close to basically hit those enemies without, you know, being crushed by the screen. Those maces can actually reach beyond the walls. Ooh. Even Ku counts as a hitbox. These levels, specifically the auto-scrolling levels, the Herculean task of getting those copy abilities. Like, just everything. Ugh. Just everything about it. And like some of the level design where it's just like it feels like it just punishes you for having abilities, it punishes you for trying to play carefully. A lot of that stuff. Like, this is the point where I just realized, yeah, I think this is the one Kirby game that's aged the worst in terms of how it usually handled things. And we're not at certain entries yet, so my judgment can change sometime in the future. There we go. I swear I can never be sure on what's the right timing for that. So now we have to bring another animal buddy into this one, but it is the second section, and I want to say there is one of these animal buddies there. So give me a moment to make a restore point, so that way I don't make a goof of myself and waste time. So yeah, we are now in the final stage of the game. It's just a climb upwards, and ugh. Yeah, look at that. And we're already dealing with quite a few elements about this game that I'm not exactly a fan of. Man, am I so glad that the next Kirby game we're going to be Let's Playing after this is much better than Succession. So, here's what we gotta do. So, we have to get a certain ability. Let's discard the one we have, wait for it to dissipate, and get burned. Then, we have to climb. Go here. And then, our next section, we're going to need stone. We need stone to go here. Then we'll discard this ability and bring needle. I believe it's this one. Yep. Cut through that, enter here. Then we gotta discard needle and bring, as soon as that penguin has stopped spewing ice. Okay, seriously, how do you... Oh, I see how it works. So that way I can show it off. Use ice here. Now for the last one. I'm going to make a save state right in this room for a reason. This part. We can choose to get the good ending or the bad ending. I'm going to make a restore point and go to the bad ending first. Then we're going to get the good ending. Give me a moment. So, going here just, like, basically, you just go straight to the end of the level. And that's about it. And now you have another enemy, another boss enemy to fight. And of course I lose my animal buddy. Ugh. Let's see. I forget the name of this boss. was literally Jumper Shoot. Such a weird name for a boss that hasn't really appeared in the series since this entry. But yeah. Yes. So yeah. I'm gonna go and grab grab an animal buddy real quick, so I'll be right back. I don't have confidence I can take on this boss with ease. So now let's take on the final boss. And, well, are you kidding me? You actually can't bring an animal buddy into the final boss. Oh. I feel like that might have been a safety measure because of the best ending. Huh. Well, guess I did some science. Now it's time to face King Dedede, and he's asleep? He's fighting while asleep? And because of this, something isn't right about him. If he's fighting while he's asleep, and you'll soon see what new he has in terms of his abilities. He's got his hammer and such. Well, you're gonna see something is clearly wrong with him. I don't think you... Yep. He somehow heats up, speeds up, and his abilities get much quicker and much more explosive. And on top of that, those explosions go upwards. Don't think you can escape so easily. Yeah, King Dedede is much harder than before. This isn't even his hardest incarnation. We're going to get to that soon enough. Well, I guess you can say because of how these games were back in the day, this is pretty difficult. And now he's all fired up. I'm trying not to say certain things because there we go. I don't like this boss fight last time I tried. Because of this. Like, I have a hard time trying to read his patterns when he's like that. Fortunately, I have lives to burn, so that way I can just skip past this once we get to showing off what happens if you collected that last rainbow drop. So I will skip to the successful attempt, assuming it's not this one. Get it right once, and then I just can't do it again. Every time, like usually it happens consistently. I really don't like this boss. I'm not puffing up! Do something, please. No, don't go back into the buff-up state. Because every time you do that, you just do that freaking... Don't throw the hammer! Oh no! Thank you! Thank you so much! I don't like that boss fight. I don't like that boss fight at all. But this is the bad ending of the game. You do get a cast of enemies you've seen throughout your adventure here. However, there's going to be an appearance from someone we haven't seen yet. It's still rainy outside, so it's a good thing that Kirby brought his parasol. So, I'm not ready to talk about why I have issues with this particular game. Yeah, what is that name right there? There's a lot of weird names. Bouncy Tie? Excuse me? Load Kibble? I think that's supposed to say Lord Kibble? But you don't see any of the staff here or anything. You see some of Meta Knight's army, but Meta Knight doesn't even make an appearance in this entire trilogy. We're starting to see the mini-bosses here and there, including the one that does make a reappearance in Kirby Plant Robot. In fact, Dark Castle is remixed in Plant Robot. Wispy Woods, it's just the face. Yes, Sweet Stuff is that boss's name. And so long, Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright. Co-Kracko. They're a co-host. And? What the heck is that thing? Yeah. And that's about it. They will just walk off screen. You can press start, and it will take you to the title screen. Yeah. Even Kine is wondering, is that really it? However, if we travel back in time, we can basically go back to the point before we finish the stage and gather that, that rainbow drop. So before all that trouble, the last rainbow drop needed. And a 1-up to boot. So we have to be absolutely careful here. Cutter with Ku is definitely a good one. It's a spread shot. And now we have to deal with Jumper Shoot. Jumper Shoot isn't that hard to deal with. Jumper Shoot just spins, fires a wooden sandal, and that's about it. It seems that Ku Cutter does more damage than normal. But yeah, I will see you once we're done with King DDD. Stop puffing up. And stop going into overdrive. Now this time, we gather all of the rainbow drops together to form this, a brand new ability, because the reason why King Dedede was asleep was because of that thing. Enter Dark Matter Blade. This is the first appearance of Dark Matter. And the song playing here is Duel in the Darkened Sky. Dark Matter Blade has this cloak and really cool visor around them. That the one things you have to worry about are its projectiles. It will fire sword projectiles, orbs, and will charge you. Where that orb goes, well, I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah. Basically, this is the dark elements where Kirby's franchise start to stem from. You may be thinking, but isn't that what Nightmare is? And you might be right, but this is what many people remember those elements from. Where they think Kirby's biggest intrigues come from. The dark matter and undead. So yeah, I got a lot to cut out from this part because of failures. So that way I can probably try to get this finale under an hour. But yeah, basically this is a sword fight, and you have a lot of dodging and maneuvering to do. And many people remember the trilogy specifically for some of the more shocking things that they were putting into these games for the time it was made. Like, this is Kirby. This isn't a Zelda where those dark themes are expected and such. This was in a game full of bright characters, colorful abilities, and such, and an adorable pink puffball. And yet, this particular thing shows up and shows that not everything is bright colors and rainbows, because something will try to corrupt it. I'm almost dead, so I'm not expecting to beat this. So yeah. I apologize if I'm not able to learn this fight easily, but I do have lives to burn, and I'm going to need them now, so I'm going to try to cut to the successful attempt. So of course, beware of its sword slashes, its beams, and its orbs, these ones. I wish I can enjoy the music too. Now we can get on to this, because I finally took me because the reason why I did not want to approach this boss with less than 3 HP is, do you really want to try fighting this thing with very low HP? This is the dark matter many people would know. This dark matter would appear in later Kirby entries. And you don't want to get too low in the screen. Get too low, and you will burn up in the atmosphere. And the reason why I made a save state is because you have to do this boss fight in 1 health bar. And I'm bad at reading these things. Yeah. So you want to know why I was censoring that load save state thing? It's because anytime I'm able to, I want to hide the final boss until the final moment. Because I want to keep up the mystique as much as possible. So, imagine 6-year-old me's reaction when if I ever got to this boss. I never did. I never beat this game when I played it for the first time. So, of course... Okay, that was actually dumb of me. And that was even dumber of me. So yeah, those projectiles it decides to fire out... fire out at the first turn it gets... Well, you want to try to find some way to fire it back at dark matter. Ugh, this is me not reading the patterns. Almost down. And that's it! That's the project! All that's left is the bonus content, which is going over each of the copy abilities, and then some. And to show the one reason why I wish the Super Game Boy palette was part of this, this service, look at King Dedede here. Yeah. That should do it for Kirby's Dreamland 2. It took so long that it's already 7 in the morning. That's how inconvenient my times to record this stuff is. Kirby's Dreamland 2 while being my first ever Kirby game, while being more than playable, encapsulates some of the worst aspects of early Kirby games. The losing of your copy ability from one hit, and making sure that you lose your ability, well, consistently with one hit. The level design. You can definitely tell that some of the level design, while it was made in a way to try to ensure the game gets harder near the end, it tends to get very claustrophobic at times, and at times it feels like it's trying to actively aggravate you. And I wish I didn't feel so negative about this game, because this was my very first Kirby game, and I did not complete it until this year. I tried to complete it on emulator on 3DS. Like, I was trying to play this 2 years ago on 3DS. That's how long ago I've been planning this project. Like, I think it was, like, after I uploaded Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. But yeah, that is the first in the Dark Matter trilogy, and, well, I will see you with whatever bonus content I can come up with, and until then, let's take one last look at that save file. 94%. There's something we're missing, and I'm going to need to take a look into why. If you want to donate, there are a couple links in the description below. Any amount helps. If you want to follow this series and any others like it, it's just a subscribe button and a bell away, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I've been Gigalem. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself, and I shall now bid you adieu.